Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be round 3 for my online Discord tournament between Grand Soil on Earth Machines versus Alamanzauna Official on Dragon Link. So as usual, if you would like to play in the next tournament, definitely go ahead and check out the link to the Discord server in the description box below. But let's go ahead and get started without any further ado. So looks like Dragon Link did win the RPS and going to choose to go first. Not really anything too out of the ordinary here. The opening hand for Dragon Link is going to be Brute Sector Launch, Rocket Synchron, Double Gamma, and Stayford. So definitely a good enough hand to combo. It's not amazing in terms of the quality of extenders because there's no like Chaos Base or Quick Launch or World Legacy Guard Dragon, but it definitely is pretty solid and also would have had a strong hand trap going second. And then the opening hand for Earth Machines is going to be Double Ash, Brutodozer, Anchor Drill, and Machina Fortress. So going second, there is also a duplicate of a hand trap, which is kind of funny. But this hand's also pretty solid. It has Brutodozer, which is like your key playmaker as well. So we'll see how this game ends up playing out. So Dragon Link is going to start up by normal summoning a copy of Starleaf Safer, and then going to use the effect. That's going to be met with Ash, which will actually be met by Gamma. So that's going to be quite good here. Oh, and Earth Machine actually just straight up scoops that game. Fair enough. Gamma resolving on your own turn in Dragon Link specifically is really good. Just because it either facilitates, Fiber or the Chaos Ruler combos. So, yeah, definitely not good to run into Gamma there in that case. So, fair enough. We're just going to straight up move into game 2. Not really too much to say there. So, Earth Machine's going to start things off this time around. And the opening hand is going to be Derek Crane, Urgent Schedule, Heavy Forward, Ash, and Harvester. This hand's definitely good enough to combo off Harvester, one of the main starters, and Heavy Forward as well. So this is definitely quite good. And then the opening hand for Dragon Link going second is going to be Godarla, Tracer, Ash, Chaos Space, and Quick Launch. So there's the quality extenders I was talking about last time that was missing, but here it is. Also interesting to see the Wind Kaiju. We've seen this a bit just because Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk just want a way to out the Wind Barrier statue pretty cleanly. So that is pretty decent. We'll see how this game ends up playing out. So they're going to start with a normal summon of the Harvester. That's going to grab a search for probably Brutodozer, but also going to be chained with Derek Crane. So yeah, Derek Crane going to hit the board, yeah, and then Brutodozer gets added to hand. And then going to go for Brutodozer by attributing the Harvester. And then the effect on field is going to be Ashed. Heavy Forward comes down next. That's going to grab a search for Trencher, which I imagine would have been, in most cases, the summon off Brutodozer anyways. So Heavy Forward going to attribute away the Derek Crane, summoning itself, and then those two are going to be overlaid for River Stormer. A River Stormer effect is going to grab a search for Bullet Train, and then going to link that away for the Goliath, and then special summon Bullet Train since everything is an Earth Machine on the field right now. And then those two will be linked away for the Ballista, and then that effect on summon is going to search for Box, and then Box triggers here as well to add another Earth Machine with 500 attack and or defense, so that's going to grab Tunneler. And then going to tribute Ballista for Tunneler to special summon itself, and then turn that away into the Goliath, the second copy. And then Trencher going to banish to Monster Reborn the Harvester. And then going to link that away for the third Goliath. And then those two will be linked for the double-headed Anger Knuckle. And then Tunneler will recycle all the link monsters as well as Derek Crane. So putting back everything and then drawing 2, draws Ash and Overdrive. Not bad. The Overdrive is a good pickup to get Citadel access if needed. Combos quite nicely with the Anger Knuckle as well to trigger the Bullet Train again. So pretty solid for sure. Gonna set the Urgent Schedule and the Machina Overdrive. And then pass. Bullet Train going to activate in the end phase to add back the Brutodozer for next turn. And this is a very solid setup. For turn, the top deck is going to be a Brotar for Dragon Link, which is pretty good actually against Citadel specifically, so that's a good contingency plan. We'll see when he decides to drop the Kaiju. He's going to do it now, so he's going to get rid of the Anger Knuckle, which is actually not horrible, because it does shut off the Overdrive until Urgent Schedule gets to resolve. So, obviously these are both unknown, however. Chaos Space is going to pitch Tracer, that's going to be Ashed, then going to normal the Brotar, and then go into a copy of Striker Dragon, and then going to grab that search for a Brute Sector Launch, and then going to activate Quick Launch for another copy of Tracer, and then those two are going to be linked away for a copy of Romulus. Romulus is going to grab a search for a copy of Dragon Ravine. And then from here, going to go into battle phase and then crash into the Gridorula. So maybe wanting to trigger Brotar here, potentially get Brute Sector to bring back Tracer. There's a couple options, depending on how he wants to approach this. He's going to go for the Brotar route. So Brotar effect is going to target itself. That's going to pitch Ravine and then search for Levianeer. And then in main phase 2, going to link that away for another copy of Striker Dragon, and then use that effect. That's going to grab back Tracer. Then he's going to activate Brute Sector Launch, and then use the effect to summon back the Tracer from Graveyard. And then Tracer going to pop the Brute. That's going to summon out Recharger. And here's probably where you fire off Urgent Schedule, just so you can go for possibly a Citadel play, since this does make either Chaos Ruler or Savage, and you would probably want to respond to that. Thinking here, yeah, he's going to activate Urgent Schedule at this point. So that's going to summon out to the Anchor Drill as well as the Trencher. That's a good follow-up for next turn for sure, since there's Harvester and Grave as well. Overdrive going to activate. That's going to target Trencher. And that's actually just going to be the end of the game. So yeah, he already knows what's going to happen. So that was just going to bring out Citadel. And then just going to wipe the board. And Levianeer wouldn't have really been enough, because regardless of what effect Levianeer would have had, like whether it was to pop cards or to shuffle a card back, it wouldn't have changed the game state, because Trencher would have been engraved no matter what. And then that would have just restarted the whole combo, because it brings back Harvester, that gets Brutodozer, and the whole thing is going to happen again. So very well played by Earth Machines for sure. And now we're going to go into game 3 here with both players tied at 1-1 apiece. If you guys are enjoying this commentary, definitely be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this style. Also, before we get started, I just want to shout out my patrons as usual. So thank you for supporting the channel, and the long form and consistent content is made possible thanks to you guys. If you would like to also help support the Patreon, definitely go ahead and check out the link to the Discord, or in the description box below. I'm so used to plugging the Discord there. But let's go ahead and get into game 3 here. So it looks like Dragon Link is going to start things off. And their opening hand going first is going to be Safer, Gamma, Ash, Quick Launch, and a Psychic Soldier that rides in a battle against security forces on Currents of Lightning using an autonomic amplifier called Psyframe. So this hand is relatively similar to game 1, but has an additional extender to work with it, so definitely not bad. And then the Earth Machine opening hand is going to be Gamma, Urgent Schedule, Redeployment, Anchor Drill, and a Psychic Soldier that rides in a battle against the security forces on Currents of Lightning using an autonomic amplifier called Psyframe. I have to read this text every time it comes up, and both players drew it, which is pretty funny. But yeah, has a hand trap going second, which is quite good. And has Redeployment, which is a strong starter, and Urgent Schedule, which is good going second. So I'd say he opened up quite well. But Dragon Link's going to start up by normal summoning Safer. Going to use the effect that is going to resolve to add Collapse Serpent. Yeah, doesn't want to play in a Gamma again, because that would be quite sad. Going to special summon Collapse Serpent by banishing the Safer. And then going to link that away for a Striker Dragon, Collapse Serpent, and the Striker Dragon both trigger. So that's going to grab Wyvern Burster and Brute Sector Launch from deck to hand. And then from here, going to banish the Collapse Serpent for Wyvern Burster. And then those two are going to be linked off for a copy of Romulus. That effect is going to activate to add a copy of nothing, because it's going to be met by Gamma. But that's going to be negated with Ash. Pretty interesting. So really wants the Ravine here. Going to activate Ravine, that's going to pitch Driver, and then going to send the Absorouter from deck to grave, and then Absorouter is going to activate for a copy of Tracer, and then going to activate Brute Sector Launch on top of that. That's going to summon the Tracer from hand, and then going to link those two away for a copy of Erratic Seal, and then going to go for Quick Launch, and summon out Tracer from deck, and then Tracer's going to activate, and then he's going to Gamma this. Yeah, I feel like it was kind of hard to play after he ashed the Gamma, because he knew that there was going to be Gamma coming up again. And, I mean, this was kind of a clear choke point at that point. It might have been worth it to let the Romulus be negated and destroyed, because he already had Quick Launch. So that could have been a possibility. Since Gamma puts 2 bodies on board, like, this comes up all the time, where it's like you Quick Launch for Tracer, you link it away for Striker Dragon, and then you can Brute Sector Launch back the Tracer you just summoned, since they have 2 monsters and you have just 1. So that could have been a potential play as well. But that being said, this is the scenario that we have on our hands. So going to be Seal Pass. The Psyframes get banished in the end phase, and then going to draw for turn. It's a Bullet Train, which is not too bad. This is going to be a pretty strong turn. Gonna activate Urgent Schedule. That's going to summon a copy of Harvester and then the Trencher from deck. And then going to link those away into a copy of Ballista. There's a bit of a lag here. Ballista gonna activate. That's going to grab a copy of Ancient Gear Box. And then Box triggers for another search. That's going to grab a copy of Tunneler. And then going to activate Redeployment, pitching Box. That's going to search for Citadel and a Fortress. Yeah, this is very good. We haven't normal summoned, but even still, we can like banish Trencher, bring back Harvester, add Brutal Dozer. This is a lot of plays. We can also like Anchor Drill for like Tunneler. We can like force something early with like a VFD. There's like so many options here. Trencher gonna bring back Harvester. That's gonna grab a search for, I would assume, the Brutal Dozer. Yep. I'm getting much more familiar with this deck. Fortress going to pitch itself and the Tunneler. That's gonna summon itself. And then Harvester going to target Fortress. This is another way to force with either VFD or Slicer. Going to overlay those two for Earth Slicer. This definitely works. I don't think we're machine locked yet, but I could be wrong. I know Brutal Dozer has that restriction, but I don't think that there's any other locks so far that I'm aware of. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me. Actually, oh, this prevents declaring attacks. Yeah, I think that VFD would have also been a viability here. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. They both accomplish the same thing, being Earth Slicer and VFD. Seal going to bounce it, and then Seal to special summon the Brotar. That effect is going to activate and then pitch the Gamma for Levianeer. So now he knows that he's going up against no interruptions, so he's able to fully combo off. He's going to be thinking here. He's going to normal summon the Anchor Drill, use the effect that's going to special summon the Brutal Dozer out of hand. And then Brutal Dozer effect is going to activate, because it doesn't have to be summoned by its own effect, just if it's special summoned from the hand. So this is going to bring out the Trencher from deck. And then going to Fortress, pitch Citadel, summon itself back. Not once a return is nice. And then going to Anchor Drill, targeting Dozer. And then going to go for Slicer again. Yeah, this is where the Earth Machine Lock is going to come in, but shouldn't matter. Going to turn the Trencher into a Goliath. And then going to Earth Slicer to pop both the Brute Sector and the Brotar. And then going to... oh, he's popping the Brotar and the Goliath instead of the Brute Sector. So he's going to trigger Citadel because the Goliath was destroyed via card effect. So this should be game. Goliath is going to attach to Earth Slicer because it was sent to the graveyard. And then going to special summon the Bullet Train. Yeah, this is well over the end of the game. So very, very well played. Earth Machine Nash are taking this series 2-1. So despite a game 1 that was very, very short, this was a good demonstration of why Earth Machine is definitely not a deck to be slept on. It's really, really good when it gets to have its engine rolling, pardon the pun. But this is like super cool. I really like this deck a lot. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with the links in the description below as always. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.